Hello and welcome to this week's edition of ELCAT News Update. It's December 15th, 2017. I'm Jen Carlos. First up tonight, the Town Council heard from local restaurant owners at the opening of Tuesday's meeting.
Bill Collins, Center Square Grill. I think I know most of you.
Bill Collins of Center Square Grill, speaking on behalf of several restaurant owners also in attendance, asked councilors to reconsider their recent vote to substantially increase the fees for renewal of liquor licenses.
So we're a group of people here that heavily support town. You know, every baseball team, football team, you know, we do as much as we can to contribute, you know. And I'm not saying that a $1,000 increase is going to stop that stuff. But when you look at it from a percentage, it's a percentage I've never seen from a vendor. So I certainly would like to propose on our behalf that we tier this and that we make that increase over the course of 5 years at $200 a year, hitting that $2,200 number. I think we're an important part of the community. And I think that when making decisions that are going to affect our businesses, I know we would all really appreciate the opportunity to participate.
Patsy LaCorey, owner of Patsy's on North Main Street, echoed Collins' view that the percentage increase was especially challenging for restaurants with fewer bar seats.
To make that check, I said, that's godly insane. $1,000 extra? I said, where am I going to come up with $1,000? So I feel that a 5-year, we increase within the 5 years. I don't mind being at 22, but give us a chance to make up the difference.
To budget for it.
The budget.
Following the comments, a couple of councilors responded with some acknowledgement of the concern.
I think it's the last meeting, I tend to agree with. I mean, it's you know, we may not think it's dollar-wise, it's a tremendous amount, but it is a tremendous increase percentage-wise. And I also sort of agree that it's too bad we didn't have one of them in part of the, you know, as part of the committee, to someone who's been in the business and knows, you know, knows the ins and outs and just the various facets of it and what a change like that or an effect like that would do to them.
We knew there had to be a market correction, right? And I think that it sounds ugly that, you know, it's such a huge increase, but we all talked about it. You looked at the information of the surrounding towns. We hadn't raised the fees since 1989. We were grossly undercharging for that. But having said that, you know, we're not insensitive to the plight of small businesses and how it affects them. So I'd be willing to open the conversation again if you guys want to. That's up to you. I mean, I guess it's whatever.
Put it on
group wants.
We can put it on the agenda for the January meeting.
I think it would be more prudent for the subcommittee after the holidays to come back together because, as you just said, those numbers were not arrived at capriciously. Marge in Denise's office took a great deal of time to poll 16 communities to make sure, and we used those numbers to find a median. We didn't go to the highest rate, and we certainly didn't go to the lowest, because in 3 of the categories we already were the lowest. So I have no problem with bringing it back to the subcommittee for some additional discussion. But as Kevin just said, the only piece that any of these folks have to pay by December 31st is the old rate. And that for the difference, they have up till July 1st to pay it. So we're trying to be as business friendly as possible. But we're also trying to get ourselves in line with area communities and the practices that they use. And yes, I suppose we could tier it over 5 years, but I guarantee you in 5 years we'll be well behind the 8 ball again.
On Thursday, ELCAT News stopped by the annual holiday raffle event sponsored by Care One at Redstone called Wreaths for a Reason. The 4th annual charity event showcased decorated wreaths donated by local vendors that were raffled off for the Toy for Joy Foundation. Redstone employees Nikki Dupras and Michelle Altabello spoke more on the event.
We call around to all the different businesses in our community and many people that work here too. We asked if they would like to decorate wreaths. We then bring them the wreaths and they can decorate it however which way they'd like.
We put the wreaths out for about 2.5 weeks, have people from the community come in. They buy raffle tickets. All of the proceeds that we make on this gets donated directly to Toys for Joy. And then tonight we're having our wreath reception where we will be donating all of the money and all of the raffles that we pull. They'll go home with their wreath tonight.
Altabella went on to explain the importance of giving back.
We've been in the community for a very long time, so we do a lot of different things throughout the year for the community, and this is how we tie it up at the end of the year with our Wreaths for a Reason, and then we give back to the children.
Talented local authors Josh Wise, Colette Ryan, Maureen McPhail, and Sarah Bank all visited the library on Tuesday. At the event, the writers talked about their inspirations, read from their children's books, and signed copies of their publications.
So that's your message from me today, is to take care of each other. Okay.
And on Tuesday, December 19th, the AM Book Group is getting together in the East Longmeadow Library conference room to discuss the novel The Wangs vs. the World. This funny tale involves a wealthy Chinese-American family that loses it all, then takes a healing road trip across the United States. Copies are available in the library, and new members are always welcome. Now with our sports wrap-up for the week, here's Anthony Santinello.
We'll start with the boys basketball team, who opened their season this week with 2 games at home. To start the season, the Spartans took on the Minnechaug Falcons, reigniting a classic rivalry on Monday night. It was a back-and-forth game all night, which saw the quick rise to stardom of freshman Teron Bosworth. Bosworth was tied for the team lead in points with 14 in his debut, while the Wiggins brothers, Justin and Jordan, also lit up the scoreboard with 13 and 14 points respectively. Despite a late rally from Minnechaug, the Spartans were able to hang on for a 66-63 win. The boys were back in action on Wednesday night to face the Munson Mustangs. The Spartans were playing with a small bench in this one, as Jared Colty, Tyler Dumas, and Colin Lindsay were all inactive with a stomach bug. It was no problem for the Spartans, however, as Jason Ayala was nearly automatic from three-point land, dropping 14 in his first start of the season. Teron Bosworth had another big game with 15 points to lead the Spartans, and East Longmeadow improved to 2-0 on the young season with a 63-57 win over Munson. And finally to the ice, where the Spartans took on the defending Division III champion Westfield Bombers. After falling in their season opener to Agawam, East Longmeadow came ready to play. They opened up an early lead on Westfield, but the Bombers were able to put together a late third-period rally to take down the Spartans 5-3. Mike Moynihan, Nick Saraceno, and Jacob Bates all had goals for East Longmeadow, while sophomore goalie Dante Ficini stopped 29 shots in the contest. That's your week in Spartan sports. For ELCAT, I'm Anthony Santinello.
That's ELCAT News Update for this week. I'm Jen Carlos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.